simplify this, what is that, a 4 by 2 matrix multiplied to a 2 by 2 matrix multiplied to a 2 by 2 matrix. Now, the order in which you multiply matrices is 1,000% important. We always go left to right no matter what. When you're multiplying two matrices together, it's very important that if you multiply this guy to that guy, that the number of columns in the first matrix matches up with the number of columns in the second matrix, which it does. Sorry, the number of rows in the second matrix, not the number of columns, the number of rows in the second matrix, which it does. So 4 by 2 does multiply to a 2 by 2. It's defined, and you're going to end up getting a 4 by 2. So let's worry about that, and we'll do the 2 by 2 when we're done. Now, in a previous example, I showed all of my steps. I'm not going to go super crazy showing all of my steps just because I'm going to need the space. I mean, I'm going to end up with a 4 by 2, and I'm definitely going to need the space. So what you do is you take your first matrix, split it up by columns, split it up by rows, I mean. You take your second matrix, split it up by columns. Now, when you apply the matrix multiplication, what you do is you are looking at this guy, first row, first column, and you're going to look at this guy, first row, first column, and you're going to multiply the first two elements. So 3 times 0 is 0, and then you add, you multiplying the second two elements, so 2 times 2 is 4. Then you repeat the process. First row, second column, 3 times 0 is 0, 2 times -6 is -12. Okay, second row, first column, 2 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. Second row, second column, 2 times 0 is 0. 1 times -6 is -6. Third row, first column, 3 times 0 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. Third row, second column, 3 times 0 is 0. 4 times -6 is -24. -1, so last row, first column, -1 times 0 is 0. -1 times 2 is -2. And then last but not least, fourth row, second column, -1 times 0 is 0. -1 times -6 is +6. Then we simplify this guy. So we get 4, we get 2, we get 8, we get -2, and then we get -12, -6, -24, +6. Now we can multiply this matrix. So we have a 4 by 2 again, a 4 by 2 again. We are multiplying to a 2 by 2. So again, we're allowed to do this. Thank goodness for all these zeros. That's going to make life so easy. So we're allowed to do this, and we'll end up with a 4 by 2 again. Okay, so I think that should be enough space. It was last time. You split the first matrix up by rows, the second matrix up by columns, and then you do exactly what we did up here. 4 times -2 is -8. -12 times 0 is 0. Okay, first row, second column. 4 times 6 is 24. -12 times 0 is 0. Second row, first column. 2 times -2 is -4. -6 times 0 is 0. Second row, second column. 2 times 6 is 12. -6 times 0 is 0. Third row, first columns. 8 times -2 is -16. 24 times 0 is 0. Third row, second column. 8 times 6 is 48. 24 times 0 is 0. Last row, first column, -2 times -2 is 4. 6 times 0 is 0. And then last but not least, last row, last column, -2 times 6 is -12, and 6 times 0 is 0. Then you add them up, add them up, add them up. Lots of zeros. So basically, you just -8, -4, -16, 4, 24, 12, 48, negative 12. Thanks for watching.